National story that has come in from Canada and with regard to the Hindu Canadians. The shocking visuals show, very clear, all caught on camera, attacks at the temples, and those accused are the pro-Khalistan mob. They, with the sticks, with the flags they have, they are charging at the Hindu devotees. And what do the cops do when they come? They in fact go after the Hindu Canadian devotees, and the accusation against them is that they have spared the real accused, the violent mob, who were caught on camera targeting the Hindu devotees standing outside their temple. Let's go one by one. Two locations are in focus here, Surrey and Brampton. In Surrey, the cops were seen even detaining a minor, a teenager, forcefully. Many have asked that it reminded them of the Derek Chauvin incident of the United States of America, where it led to death as well, the manner in which the cops went after that one teenager. In another video, they are seen punching the devotees in Brampton, and those recording the video are asking, why aren't you going after the pro-Khalistan mob and only after the Hindu devotees? And that has led to the accusation that there is a certain bias by the cops in Canada.
Is there freedom of speech?
No, but he's a king! He's a king! He's a king! No! He's a king! He's a king! No, please, no! Please, no! That's not right! That's not right! He's a king! He's a king! He's a king! He's a king! That's wrong! That's wrong! That's wrong! That's wrong! That's wrong! That's wrong! That's wrong!
Where they're standing? When they started assaulting, right? Did you take any action?
He was there and he was...
Are you supposed to take any action?
I just got here.
No, but who? There were two people here. Why didn't they take? Are they not getting paid from the government? Why didn't they take any action?
So you're listening to me. Thank you. So when the other officers get here, I'll speak to them. Then we'll come and get your information.
Yes.
Then we'll find out.
No, but the problem is why did they stop? Why didn't they say anything to them?
Is that allowed? Is there freedom of speech?
So that's what the Hindu Canadians are asking the police in Canada. Why aren't you taking action against the pro-Khalistan mob that are actually violent than the Hindu devotees who are in a part of that confrontation and the clash that happened? But why was their bias shown? Milan Sharma joins me for the latest on that. Milan, are we really surprised that this violent confrontation has happened, that the pro-Khalistan mob went on a rampage? That's precisely what the Trudeau government had been encouraging all this while.
Well, absolutely, Pooja, because calls to protest by Khalistani supporters and Khalistan terrorists were given near the Hindu places of religious worship earlier as well. And therefore, there should have been strict vigilance and strict security that should have been provided to the Hindu religious places, because this is not a mob sudden protest. This was a pre-planned protest that is being witnessed at the moment. And of course, the Hindu Canadians are being targeted in all this when they are seen that the police also at the spot is not responding to their pleas to move the Khalistani protesters away from the Hindu religious places. They are protesting right outside the temple arena, and when the clash erupts, they actually enter the temple complex as well with Khalistan flags and sticks, and beat up the Hindu Canadians who were standing there trying to make the police understand that the protest should move away from the temple. So clearly there is bias that has come out in the way that the Canadian police has handled the entire situation. The Canadian police, not surprisingly, as you say, call it, the freedom of speech and their right to peaceful protest. But we know that these protests were nothing but peaceful, and created a ruckus just to target Hindu Canadians who are absolutely being, sidelined when they are telling the police that this is something that is unacceptable and this is not freedom of speech. This is not a peaceful protest. There were appeals made by the Hindu Canadians, but they certainly fell on the deaf ears of the Canadian police there, Pooja, as you can see in the visuals.
All right, Milan, stay on with me. If you are joining us right now, I want to show you what precisely happened. It's very disturbing. One of the videos that has led to a lot of outrage is this one. It's a teenager from what I can understand from the video, and a man, possibly someone known to this minor age boy, are shouting, "This is wrong, he's a child." Look at how 3 to 4 cops at least have put a knee on one of his necks. Look how they are literally choking him, and then they detain him and take him in custody. Many are saying that this reminded them of the Derek Chauvin incident, for example, or the George Floyd incident, that where eventually such attempts to take one in custody have led to deaths as well. And that is why they take him away, not the pro-Khalistan mob that literally with their flags and sticks was seen and caught on camera charging and beating up the Hindu Canadians. Why didn't the cops stop that confrontation, take them in custody as well? So that's one video that many have been angry about, specifically from the Hindu community and the diaspora in Canada. Let's take a look at other video. Now, this temple in Surrey, Lakshmi Narayan temple, I want to give you an addition background to that. The same temple in 2023 had shots fired right outside the residence of the head priest. This is Brampton. This is where there have been heightened tensions. Brampton, remember, you must have guessed, is where the parades were taken out, including the assassination of former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, where there's been a large chunk of the pro-Khalistan extremist activities. Now, these individuals who are from the Hindu community are asking the cops, why aren't you taking action against the pro-Khalistan group? Why are you only charging at the Indian origin or the Hindu Canadians here? So this is one video where the senior cops are trying to resolve the matter, who appear to have come later into the timeline.
I just got here.
I want to go back to Milan on this. Milan, let's be very clear, and to the viewer watching, this is not about Hindus and Sikhs. Sikhs do not need any certificate of patriotism. They have been part of India's nation building. This is a deliberate attempt to show it as such, isn't it? Specifically, that's what pro-Khalistanis with the nexus with Pakistan want to use Canadian soil. Justin Trudeau doesn't want to do anything about it. But how do you see other reactions coming in? Do you think other politicians are speaking up about it? Is there silence? Is there still a tacit support to the pro-Khalistanis to do what they want?
Well, Pooja, certainly we're not saying that all Sikhs are Khalistani. Then that should be a message that should be very clear.
Yeah, correct.
Trudeau government, these are a handful of Khalistani, pro-Khalistan supporters or Khalistan terrorists. Many there protesting on the name of Niger again. And that does not mean that the entire Sikh diaspora is part of this protest. But clearly you can see in the visuals how Hindu Canadians are being attacked in the name of Niger killing. And that seems to have no impact on the police there. Of course, there are Liberal Party leaders in Canada who have strongly reacted by their social media posts on X. But it's, a very small lip service in terms of what is being done to make sure that the Hindu Canadians, even the Muslim Canadians for that matter, other communities of Canadians are being made to feel safe in, Canada at the moment, because all this has been fueled after the India-Canada relations have gone south. And certainly these are the repercussions that we are seeing, because Sikh for Justice organization and pro-Khalistani movement supporters are pre-planning such protests outside sensitive Hindu religious places. And Pooja, these are not isolated incidences. You've seen the desecration of temples that are taking place as well in Canada. And this is just one of, the more flashpoints. Outside, you will see posters, in the videos.
And I want to, in fact, add here,
against
Milan, to the viewer watching, that there have been those who genuinely follow the Sikhi or the Sikhism as a religion have actually condemned these attacks. They have come forth and given out statements, and that's reflective of how the larger community is not accepting and buying this sort of violence that's taking place in Canada. Another visual that has come in, and this is why a question is being raised on the cops. Look at this visual. All of this is caught on camera, and that's why we are bringing to you. A woman recording this video, who appears to be a Hindu Canadian, is focusing and showing how the cops are going after only the Hindu Canadian devotees, not the pro-Khalistan mob. One cop, in fact two specifically, that who have been caught on camera and have been asked and questioned. They're confronted by those who are recording this video, asking, why are you punching? Look at this one cop. A cop in the beard seen punching and going after one or two individuals who are from the Hindu Canadian or the Indian diaspora. And that's when people are asking, why are you going after them and not those who are actually indulging in violence? And that is why the question is being raised, are there cops within the administration? And remember that India has raised this issue as well. If there have been, like recently we saw an individual with the border force of how he had possibly the terror links and criminal links as well. As Milan Sharma continues to be with us, Milan, what do you think this looks like? Because this is not about India-Canada standoff. This is not about Hindu or Sikh standoff. This is perhaps reflective on Canada's administration when a Prime Minister is willing to have a showdown over a Hardeep Singh Nijjar, a designated terrorist, does nothing for Sikhs for Justice Gurpantwan Singh Pannoon, who gives out open threats. I don't think we should be surprised that eventually it led to a violent clash.
Well, absolutely, Pooja, because it talks a lot about how the Canadian administration and the Canadian government under Trudeau is not taking any action on the Khalistan supporters or Khalistan protesters who are creating chaos, across areas that are heavily, populated by other Hindu Canadian communities in these regions, especially in Ontario when we talk about Brampton and, Surrey. And it was a day perhaps where a lot of Hindu Canadians wanted to go to the temple. It's just the day after Diwali. The Gujarati New Year is also celebrated by Hindus across the world. And a huge amount of Gujarati diaspora also lives there. So this is not just Hindu versus Khalistanis, as you just mentioned, or Hindu versus Sikhs, but a clear question on how communities are not being protected. There is bias that is being shown to the Khalistan supporters. The police does not react, on time, does not disperse the protesters from there. And then comes lip service from many of the Canadian leaders. Some of the MPs, of course, there is a very prominent former Sikh MP who has also condemned the kind of, attacks that have happened, and of course, clearly this is not a Sikh versus Hindu thing, but clearly one particular community is being shielded also by the police, also by the Trudeau government because of the vote bank politics that is being played in the country. It is the repercussion that the Hindus, Canadian and other Canadian communities and other Indians who have moved from here to Canada have also had to face and be unfairly targeted for, the kind of vitriol that has been spread by the Canadian, government under Trudeau.
Milan, stay on with me.